In my research, I found that they was held under litigation. Made copies of this report, and I brought it and gave a copy to Jerry Ambrose. I gave 8 copies to each and every one of the city council members and Arnez, who was our clerk. I wanted to apply pressure on Jerry Ambrose and the state government to not hire this company because I knew that this information that the company was going to give us was going to be misleading from all of the other information that I discovered that they had misled other states across the United States of America. There was a red flag that concerned me about issuing any money to this company that would give us exact and correct information on the conditions of our water and the conditions of our pipes. I had became a little livid and angry to the extent that the company asked me why was I so angry. I expressed to them of all of the information that I discovered, and I told them that it's offense that they would be held in our meeting when they're going under litigation for the same reason that the state government is trying to hire them for the information that we need. I tried very hard to get the state government to not hire this company. City council had nothing to do with this company being hired because it was a unilateral decision, which means it was a decision that was held and made by Jerry Ambrose, who was our emergency manager, and co-signed or signed or accepted by Governor Rick Snyder. I wanted city council to apply pressure to this company, to the state government, that we will reconsider on hiring this company. Unfortunately, my argument was all to no avail, and it went on deaf ears. I had wanted Councilman Eric Mays to help me because he was radical. He had a strong disposition, and he didn't use that disposition to help me apply pressure to the state government. The only pressure that was applied was only from myself. And unfortunately, everything that I argued about became a reality. This
Hey,
company
hey,
did not
so
tell us. This
so
company did not tell us that our pipes was corroded. And most importantly, they did not tell us that it was lead in the water and in the pipes. Unfortunately, due to their negligence, our children and the residents in the city of Flint, Michigan contracted lead. And a lot of
so
our children died from the lead. If this
so
company
Mr.
would not have been hired and we hired a company that had transparent, would have been a little more transparent with our municipality or with our government, there's a great possibility that we would have never had lead in our system. But due to this company
So
negligence, we had lead.
so basically, you knew the viola wasn't the right for Flint at the time, right? That's
At the
you
time, I knew that they wasn't right due to my
you did
discovery and my research.
you did research on them. You say you did some
Yes,
research
sir.
on them.
And
Okay.
yes, sir. And I made copies of my research, and I gave it. I gave each and every council member, which was 8 of them. I make 9. I gave a copy to each and every one of them, including Eric Mays, and I gave one to the clerk, which is Arnez. I gave one to the emergency manager, which was Jerry Ambrose at that time, because Darnell Early had removed himself from being city council, who made the decision to switch us to the Flint River. And all of my arguments and my concern went on deaf
So
ears. Nobody,
so bas
nobody helped me apply pressure.
so basically, it didn't even surprise you when it went down, right? Because you seen
It
it
didn't
coming. You know what I
surprise me,
mean?
but it didn't surprise me, but it disappointed me. It was great disappointment in my heart because I felt if they would have listened, this company would not have been hired. They would have never been given $40,000 to $50,000, and our children would have never been ingested with lead.
Right,
Our
right,
children in
right.
our city would have never had a lead situation if it wasn't for this company being hired. This company could
You-
have told us that it was lead in the water and in the pipes, but they didn't tell
Right.
us.
They didn't do their job properly, right? Or
They
because
didn't do their job properly. No, they did not.
that's
And to this day,
because
and to this
because that
day,
was go ahead, go ahead.
and to this day, this company just yesterday, on the 4th of February, 2024, made a settlement with the city of Flint, Michigan to give city of Flint, Michigan $25 million for the damages and their negligence. And they also given every child $1,500 that was the child at that particular time. To me, which is an offense, $1,500 can never
Man,
compensate for the children that died.
man, that's that RX kid bullshit, ain't it? They Neely and them just passed. It got passed through city council. They gonna give it's really an incentive to have babies in Flint. They
Like I
paying
spoke
they
to you
paying the
earlier,
mothers.
I haven't did my research on that, Mr. John. I
I'm,
believe what you're saying is true. I believe what you're saying because you're a great researcher yourself. So I believe what you're
yeah,
saying is true. It's something that I haven't delved into or nor did my research because you just told me
yeah,
about this yesterday.
yeah,
So I
it's
believe
voted
what you're
in.
saying is true. Hmm?
Yeah, it's voted in. It's called RS kids. It's in effect.
Okay. Okay.
I heard some of the women got money already. They already getting checked.
Okay.
Um,
But
yeah,
I do know that Veolia, the water engineering company that neglected to tell the city of Flint, Michigan that there was lead in the water that transferred into the pipes. They just made a settlement and gave they it has not been issued to the city yet, but there is a settlement of $25 million, and each child out of that $25 million are going to receive $1,500 out of that $25 million settlement. There are children that died from lead, and $1,500 nor $25 million can ever account for the lives that has been taken, for the life sustainable injuries that has occurred. But what bothers me on another hand is that Dr. Mona Hanna received all the credit because she was a pediatrician and she did a blood test on the children and discovered that there was lead in the system in their blood. What bothers me is had they listened to me and not hiring this company, there would have never been a such thing as lead in the system of the children. But they gave her all of the credit, saying that she saved Flint when a pediatrician
yeah,
job is to test the blood
yeah,
of the
yeah. I
children.
see.
That was her
Yeah,
job regardless.
yeah. That was her job. I agree with you. I was doing some research on her the other day, and that was her job. She's a
That was her job to
pediatrician.
do it anyway. She didn't
You know what I'm
she didn't
saying?
take no extra
But
measurements
they got her as a hero. You know what I'm saying?
when
I,
a Shiro, when she didn't do
right, a
anything
hero.
but do what her job required for her to do. She didn't run into a burning house
She
and
did a
pull
great
children
job
out.
though, but that was her
As a
job.
pediatrician, she didn't do anything extra outside of her job. The person that was supposed to be honored and respected the most was the person that was trying to be proactive in preventing the lead to be in the children, which was myself. Now, I'm not trying to get any accolades. I'm not trying to get, any credit. But if you're going to give any credit to anybody, it should be to myself because I am the one who tried to stop Darnell Early, the first emergency manager, from not switching us to the Flint River. When I fought against him and Governor Snyder, when you look at an article and Google it up, it says meet Wantwaz Davs, the ex-con that tried to save Flint. But not only that, when Darnell Early was removed out of office, I tried to fight against Jerry Ambrose, the emergency manager that came after him, who tried to hire a company, who did hire a company 10 months later, after Darnell had switched us to the Flint River. I tried to stop Jerry Ambrose, the other emergency manager, from hiring this water engineering company that's called Veolia, to stop them from being hired, that disallowed themselves to not tell us that there was lead in the water that contracted and transferred into the children that lost their lives. So, in all actuality, I tried to save the children and Flint from being poisoned with lead, and I tried to stop our city from being poisoned, one by Darnell Early and the governor, Rick Snyder, and then the other by Jerry Ambrose, who was our emergency manager, and Governor Rick Snyder. So, on both situations, I actually tried to save Flint, Michigan from being poisoned, and particularly those children that lost their lives and people that are still suffering from life sustainable injuries that's predicated on the Flint water crisis and the lead. But they don't talk about that. And I have
Right,
actual facts, one that I put on my Facebook page, the same article that's dated February the 15th, February the 19th, 2019. I just put that on my Facebook page yesterday, And that's the same article that I gave all
Mm,
city council members, emergency manager
hey,
Jerry Ambrose, and clerk Arnaz. And you can
right.
Google my name up on Meet Wantwaz Davis, the ex-con that tried to save Flint when I had when I fought to stop Darnell Early for switching us to the Flint River. So there are two emergency managers that I tried to stop from poisoning and killing the city of Flint, Michigan, and our
Hey,
children.
hey, Mr. Davis, Councilman Davis, look, in your own words, why do you think people criticize you so much and hold your feet to the fire, man? Why? I mean, you know what I
Jealousy,
mean?
jealousy, jealousy, envy, and resentment is real in our generation of people, in our ethnic group of people. You know, when I looked at my sheroes and heroes and I did a due diligence, I did my due diligence in my study. Dr. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, Sojourner Truth, none of our heroes and sheroes were ever loved in their era. So I already imagined and knew that I
Got
wouldn't
that
be
right.
loved either. The
You
next
got that
generation
right.
that come hundreds of years from today,
Hey,
they will pay homage. But my problem is that my people should bag me up because I did
hey,
something.
this is what I believe, Councilman. People should give people their flowers while they're here. You know what I mean? I know it's been a lot of times when people, so as people pass, they got nothing but good stuff to say about them. Why you couldn't tell them that when they was here? Give them their flowers while they was here. You know
because
what I mean?
because slavery played a big part on the reason why blacks and minorities have this strong disdain or disliking towards their heroes and sheroes. One of the
That's that.
reasons,
Go
one of
ahead.
the reasons is I did a study, and back in slavery, every year one slave will be set free, but that one slave had to earn their way to be set free. And so during the whole course of time during that year,
House Negroes.
yeah, during that course of time, each slave will be in combat, in competition with each other on who's going to be that one slave to be set free. So that was a system that was put in place that
That's
transferred all the way to the modern
I
day.
I want to tell you that's that Willie Lynch syndrome. That's
It
what that
is.
is. That's what
That's
that
one of
is.
the it's one of the curriculums that were being used. Now, had I been a white person doing all of the wonderful and great things that I've done in trying to save the city of Flint, Michigan, white people will promote each other. We are the only ethnic group of people that has a strong disdain, strong disliking, very envious, jealous, and resentful towards one another. It's not that they don't want us to have it, it's because they want to have it. And it's the sad thing about it that I am the one that actually tried to save my city from being poisoned and our children from dying. And that's something that should be highly acknowledged, but they don't have that acknowledgement.
Yeah,
And when
you
I
know
went through
what?
the Sloan, when I went through the Sloan Museum, I went in an area where they're speaking about the Flint water crisis. They have Darnell Early, who switched us to the Flint River. They have Rick Snyder that approved us to go into the Flint River. And then they have a white woman who testified at their hearing. Well, the hearing was lost, and Governor Rick Snyder and all of the ones that was charged won the race. I mean, won their conviction. Uh, and they had Governor Rick Snyder. They had two Caucasians, three Caucasians, and one
In the
African
museum,
American.
they was
It's
honoring
in
them.
the, it's in the Sloan Museum
I'm
in the
saying they
history of the
honor.
Flint water crisis.
They got their name in honor.
Yeah,
Or
they got the one that testified in honor, and they got Dr. Mona Hanna named in honor. But then they got
in
Governor Rick Snyder that made the decision,
he the
approved the
one
decision.
that Rick Snyder the one
Well, they don't
they
have
tried
Rick
to kill the
Snyder.
whole city.
Well, they don't have Rick Snyder and Darnell Early in honor, but they have Dr. Mona Hanna in honor, and they have the Caucasian woman that testified at the hearing in honor. But all of that is reactionary. They don't have nothing pertaining to the Flint water crisis that's on the proactive measurement or level, which means everything they have in the library is only speaking about what happened after we was poisoned and who poisoned us. But they don't have no one that actually tried to prevent and stop the whole ordeal from occurring. And I told the Sloan Museum that this is half information. Half truth is worse than a lie.
I
And
just
what this
saw Rich.
is a great, and what it is a great injustice to history, because 200 to 300 years from today, nobody will actually know the full detail and information of what actually occurred pertaining to the Flint water crisis.
Hey,
And
hey,
so
I
I
just
told
saw.
them, and so what I did, I took them the Yahoo article that if you Google it up, it says meet Wantwaz Davs, the ex-con that tried to save Flint, which means it speaks about me trying to stop the switch. And then I took them an article where it spoke about me fighting against Viola, who didn't tell us that it was lead in the pipes. And I took them an article on me arguing and trying to reach out to the United States Attorney General office, which is Eric Holder, to help me try to stop all of this catastrophe. I showed
Yeah,
them enough information that should have compelled them to put me into the Sloan Museum, which would be on a proactive measurement when there was really someone who tried to stop all of this from ever occurring. They told me it's a
yeah.
process. They
I
told me
want
it's a process. I said, how much more of a
right.
process do we need to go through when I just brought all the information and the facts that you asked me to bring? And then the sad thing about it is just yesterday, which I didn't know it was going to occur, that Viola just made a settlement with the city of Flint, Michigan, and the news spoke to Melissa Mays, another white person who had nothing to do with the proactive measurement. She just came into effect with the water warriors fighting when the poison had already occurred. What do she have to do with the water crisis? But they interviewed Melissa Mays. These are nothing but people that tried to capitalize and prostitute our catastrophe for their own grandeur. What makes Melissa Mays so special? And they used her group to testify at the water hearing, predicated on what? What could they actually say at the hearing that was meritorious that could have had Governor Rick Snyder and them convicted? The person that could have testified at the hearing could have been the person that was trying to stop them from going to the water crisis. They had information that could have argued against them that you guys knew that we were going to be poisoned. The reason why we lost the conviction is because they used people like the water warriors, Melissa Mays and her group, fighting and talking about what occurred after the water crisis, but there was no one being used that tried to stop them from going to the Flint water crisis. So they marginalized me so much that we lost the conviction, and they won.
All right. Hey, I want to move on to something else. So I want to address this. Somebody in the audience, and a lot of people, I hear this a lot. You know me, I don't care. I'm gonna put it on the floor. They say, "Let me finish. Let me finish before you say anything." Want to? They say you be hating on Eric Mays or envy Eric or whatever they say, right? Let me play this clip right quick. This one I had Maurice Davis, ex Second World Councilman Eric Davis on. I mean, sorry, Maurice Davis on here on the show, and then I want you to elaborate what I just said to you and with this clip. Hold on.
These niggas is working on one accord. We got some. And don't
Yeah.
just always ha ha he with Maze. Somebody got to have the ball say, man, you wrong now. Chastise that ass. Or get your ass off council. We got work to do. He got talent, but ain't nobody right all the fucking time, man. Don't do that to ourselves. You see the result. I've been there 10 years. Where the fuck is the results? I've been there 4 years. 3 of them 4, I had to learn what I do. Now I got the experience to do it, and I'm telling you how it's done. Now, if I know what I'm doing, like I said, you have to run the city as you run a band. A band got to be on one accord and makes beautiful music, and it draws people. If what you're doing down there ain't drawing the public to you, you're doing something wrong. And you start from the littlest, the least of them, and build a strong foundation, everybody going up. That's the scripture foundation. That's how the basic scripture. To the least of these, you done it unto me. But the thing of it is, people talk a good game.
ahead, Mr. Davis. What you got to
Well, I
say?
don't want people to get me. I don't want people to misinterpret and have a misunderstanding between Maurice Davis and Wantwaz Davis. Maurice Davis came after I was out of office. I believe when it's pertaining to Eric Mays, Eric Mays is a radicalist. Eric Mays is an activist. An activist by nature will always go against politicians. What people see when it pertains to Eric Mays on city council, they see a natural activist fighting against political officials, and they think that's normal. The Ricky Smiley show normalized Eric Mays' buffoonery. Now, back to what I was initially going to say. The Eric Mays they see today wasn't the Eric Mays when it was time to be that Eric Mays they see today. Eric Mays had the ability to apply pressure to the Michigan state government and ask the Michigan state government to not switch us to the Flint River. But Eric Mays never helped me. So when you look at the article, when it say meet Wantwaz Davis, the ex-con that tried to save Flint, it don't say meet Wantwaz Davis and Eric Mays. When they invited me on the Steve Harvey show to speak about the Flint water crisis, they didn't invite Eric Mays because Eric Mays never helped me fight against the stop of going to the Flint water crisis. Eric Mays believed that we should go to the Flint River, bottle the water, filter the water, and sell it like Amway. That was his gospel. I can't make that up because I'm using Amway. I didn't say Pepsi, Coca-Cola. I didn't say any of that. I'm telling you from what he said verbatim. He said we should go to the Flint River, filter the water, bottle the water, and sell it like Amway. To this day, I still don't know what Amway do. I don't know what Amway do, and I still don't know what it does. That was his gospel. Eric Mays never fought with me to try to stop Darnell Early and Governor Rick Snyder from moving us to the Flint River. Eric Mays has been an activist longer than I've been living. So Eric Mays worked in General Motors. Eric Mays had to know that we was taking off the Flint River in the 60s and have never been back on the Flint River. Eric Mays knew more about the Flint River than I've ever would have known. So he should have at least said, let's get the water tested before we do it. He never made one argument. May he have been scared to fight against the state government, knowing that it may sacrifice his life. I don't know. But I know he never raised a finger or a voice. The Eric Mays you see today.
Hold on, y'all. Let me find out Wantez got that bootleg Wi-Fi over there. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. Trying to put everything on the floor. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. He about to turn back in. His Wi-Fi messed up. He in the back room now. Hold on. You ready? You
Yeah,
good,
I'm
bro?
ready. I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. Where you was at? Where we leave off at?
At the Eric Mays. Eric Mays was not the Eric Mays you see today back then.
Okay. You do you us coming up on 10 years of water
No, let me
crisis,
finish. Let me
man?
let me finish. Let me finish what I was saying. Are we back
So you're
on?
not okay? You're not done? Go ahead. I thought you was
Yeah.
done. Go ahead.
No, I'm
Go
not
ahead.
done. Are we back on?
Go ahead. Let's
The
go. We
Eric
on. Yeah,
Mays,
we on. We ain't never go
The
off. We
Eric
ain't never go off.
Mays, the Eric Mays you see today being radical, rambunctious, was not the Eric Mays yesterday. Talking about ARPA funds and the $40 million need to be used on putting roofs and potholes in the street is incomparable when it comes about the lives of the residents that's going to suffer from a bad decision or did suffer from a bad decision when it pertained to the Flint water. That's the Eric Mays that you see today should have been the Eric Mays yesterday. Eric Mays didn't get involved until we were poisoned. Then he participated and tried to be a part of every protest that I had put together, that he didn't put together. He just showed up at every protest that I put together. To me, I found that to be usury, and I found that to be an opportunist. The Eric Mays you see today could have been the Eric Mays that should have been the Eric Mays yesterday. One, after I gave them all of the information about Viola, he should have stood next to me and said, no, we're not going to hire this company. But he didn't. And that's how we end up having lead in our body. Two, which should be one, is when they made the decision to switch us to the Flint River, because you got to be mindful. City Council knew way in advance that they was considering switching us to the Flint River before Flint, Michigan residents even knew. He had ample amount of time to try to fight against that switch like I did. Not only did I fight against Darnell Early, I fought against Governor Rick Snyder, and I also drove 18 hours, 9 hours to Washington, D.C., and 9 hours back trying to get the House and the United States Attorney General involved to put an injunction on that order. Because at that time, Flint, Michigan was overtaken by the state government because we had a financial emergency manager in place. So I knew if I drive to Washington, D.C. and get the House and the federal government involved, the federal government can override the state government and say, hold on, let's put a hold on that. Let's get the water tested. And if the water is conducive, then we'll go to the Flint River. But the federal government pushed me away too. But Eric Mays, not at one time. And so this is my argument about Eric Mays. It's not about jealousy or envy. I don't have anything to be jealous or envy about Eric Mays about. I already created a legacy when I went to prison and got elected in government. Eric Mays never created a legacy. I already brought 800 jobs to the city of Flint, Michigan, which is in my ward, which is Lear Manufacturing. I've already did some historical things. He has done nothing in the 10 years that he's been in office. But going on Ricky Smiley's show and allowing Ricky Smiley to make a mockery of black leadership, Ricky Smiley didn't invite Eric Mays on his show because of leadership. He invited Eric Mays on his show because he didn't know that Eric Mays was really an activist and not a politician. See, an activist can act like the way that Eric Mays act. An activist is always a rival towards politicians. And so when you see him at city council meetings, he's always throwing darts and slights at politicians because he's really not a politician. He's an activist. He's another Al Sharpton, another Jesse Jackson. That's why Jesse Jackson never won a presidential seat, because he moved outside of the area of what he was naturally to be. Eric Mays is an activist. Activists act like Eric Mays. If Eric Mays was an activist and acting the way he acted, it wouldn't be funny. He would have never got no credit. He would have never got no notary. He gets the notoriety because he's act like an unorthodox politician, which he's really an activist. So people across the United States of America have never saw a politician act like an activist, but he is an activist. And that's why he's never getting along with politicians, why he's working with politicians. This is what people don't understand. But Ricky Smiley's show was a disservice to the city of Flint, Michigan, because he brought that type of mentality on his show, because his mentality created laughter and he got other people thinking that that's normal. So what Ricky Smiley did is he normalized that type of mentality, making people think that's how a politician supposed to act. It's not that's how a politician supposed to act. Because if you do an audit on Eric Mays and do a check and balance, you can see that Eric Mays has never done anything significant for the city of Flint, Michigan to make a positive change. He's done nothing in the 10 years. And so it bothers me the most because when I was fighting against the state government, put my family life on the line and my life on the line to stop whatever their hidden agenda was, because it's been known that many great leaders has sacrificed their life and lost their life fighting against a powerhouse. Their family got killed, they got killed. So I knew when I was fighting against a powerhouse, which is the state government, it was probably going to cost my family life and my life. But I didn't care about that because I knew I had God, grace, and mercy by my side, and I knew I was chosen to do that. But now I see the Eric Mays that he is now, and what bothers me the most, it's not out of envy and jealousy. It's because that Eric Mays we see today, it should have been the Eric Mays in 2014. When I would have applauded what the Eric Mays is to now, because I would have said, well, that was the Eric Mays in 2014, and he still continue on a consistent base to be an Eric Mays today. But the Eric Mays you see today was not the Eric Mays when our lives was at stake. And he put me out there to fight by myself when I actually jeopardized my family life and my life. So if they was in my shoes, they would understand where my anger comes from. I sacrificed my family life and my life that they could have easily kicked in my door and drug me and my family out this house and killed us the same way they did Fred Tucker. See, a lot of people don't know about Fred Tucker. Fred Tucker was a Fifth Ward councilman that they found him and his wife dead in Ohio because he was a fighter for his people as a city councilman. See, a lot of the generation today don't know that about Fred Tucker. They killed Fred Tucker because he was a fighter like me fighting against a powerhouse. They found Fred, they went in Fred Tucker's house, drugged and killed him and his wife, and they found Fred Tucker's body dead in Ohio. See, Eric Mays knew that. That's why Eric Mays didn't stand up and fight with me, because he thought that there may be a great possibility that he may be another Fred Tucker. See, he can fight when we got poisoned because he wasn't the only one fighting. You had coalitions and people around the world helping us fight. So they couldn't pinpoint him and just say, we're going to kill him, because he was already fighting after we got poisoned. But he didn't fight to stop the poisoning. See, he was smart. He said, I'm not going to fight this stop, but I'll fight once we poison. Well, yeah, because now you got a football team fighting with you. But you didn't fight and put your life on the line like a real leader do. A real leader is like Jesus. They become the sacrificial lamb, which means I'll sacrifice my life for a greater cause. He didn't want to do that. He put me out there by myself to fight against the state government. They had a greater agenda that costed our lives. He stood in the background and stayed in the corner with his thumb in his mouth. See, his thumb was the plug, but now he took the plug out, and he's the Eric Mays that y'all see today. That's what my argument
Hey
comes from.
man, hey YT, let's move on to something else, man. I wanna I appreciate you. I wanna play a game I call political. If you, I want you to I'm gonna say some names to you, right? If you don't know nothing too much about them politically, we just move on to the next name. I want you to just describe with 5 words or less. Uh, the first one is Sheldon Neely.
I think that Sheldon Neely is a substandard mayor. I don't think that he's right in everything that he does. I think it's some things that he's done that he could have did better. I just think that he was the best, worst out of the two when it was just between him and Mayor Weaver. The reason why, let me explain the reason why. The reason why I explain that, and the most intelligent question to ask anybody is always why. The most intelligent answer to give when you don't know is, I don't know. So let me answer the why question, because that's the most intelligent question to ask me. Mayor Weaver had the opportunity when she was in
All right.
office to make a great change, to make a great difference for the city of Flint, Michigan, because she had the whole world eyes on the city of Flint, Michigan, trying to figure out what can they do for us. And at that particular time,
No,
nobody was trying to
you
tell us
going, you
no.
going, you going to agree? You going to agree, bro? We got. I asked you about Neely. We're gonna
Okay,
get
so
to. I
no,
got more names for you.
okay.
All right, we
Well, I
got Neely.
feel that Neely,
All right.
I don't feel Neely is a great mayor.
Okay. All right.
I don't feel that.
Okay. Karen Weaver.
I don't feel Karen Weaver was a good mayor.
Okay. Um, Dr. Mona Hanna.
I think she's an opportunist.
Gretchen Whitmer.
I think Gretchen Whitmer is a bad governor.
Rick Snyder.
Rick Snyder is a horrible governor.
Hold on. Give my note. Let me see.
I think Gretchen is trying to be a good governor, but she's dropping the ball.
All right. Dan Whaley.
Who?
Dan isn't his name Dan Whaley? That mayor we had
I think
right
he was a
before
coward.
emergency.
I think he was a coward.
Okay. The AG, Dana Nessels.
Who?
Dana
Attorney
Nessels.
General? The Attorney General that
Yeah.
we have now?
Yeah.
I don't know much about her.
Okay, cool. That's what I'm saying. If you don't, you can go to the next name. Now we're gonna let me see.
But you got to ask me the whys.
Okay. We're gonna say a couple. We're gonna say a few. I ain't gonna say all of them. I'm gonna say, hey, pick a couple of council people names. Tanya Burns.
I think she's horrible.
Okay. Liddell Lewis.
I think they all horrible.
Well, I ain't even. They all nine of them, or
The reason why, well, I think they all together as a collective
as a
are not
body.
good council people. Are not good council people. Because it takes a group. I think they all are accountable to what takes place at city council. That's just to be fair. That's fair to the public. Let me just say that much. That's being fair to the public. Because if you continue to allow ruckus, chaos, and toxicity, that's just being fair to the public. I mean that as a politician. As a person, I don't know them as a person. I don't know them as a person. Only thing I can say about Liddell Lewis is that she engages with her ward a lot. She educates her ward a lot. Now, I have to be honest.
Liddell?
Yeah, she does. She does engage with them a lot. She does. Now, any decision making, I can't say, neither here nor there. I'm just being honest and open that she does engages with her community, her ward. She does do that. She does. But as a whole, collectively, I think they all should go.
Okay.
And bring in a new regime, because they should not continue to allow Eric Mays to bully them. Because he has an activist mentality, and they don't understand that. An activist will never get along with a politician. That's not their nature. A dog and a cat would never get along, even if a cat tried to be a dog. It's not the nature of a dog and a cat to get along.
Hold on. Hold on a second. When after dark.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man. I really don't understand, being that this is supposed to be a regularization of our Black history, the beginning of our Black History Month, and 4 series about, our history of Flint. And this is a bunch of garbage right here that I'm hearing right now, just to be honest. And for one thing, I'm just being real. Eric Mays is an historic figure in the city of Flint. Whether you love him or hate him, you got to acknowledge that.
Yeah, I agree with you, but everybody's opinion is validated. On my show, I'm not biased. I'm not a biased platform, so I'm gonna hear everybody out. Only thing I don't allow on my platform is fagging and snitching. I don't allow that. But everybody's opinion is valid. Is valid. Did you hear that, Wantwaz? Did you hear what he said? I can't hear you, man. You muted yourself. You muted yourself. I love Eric too, but opinion is opinion. You muted yourself, bro. I can't hear you. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all. It ain't. I mean, it's coming from my platform, but that's my man opinion of a person. I can't change his opinion. You know what I'm saying? I can't change his opinion. I don't know what's going on. He muted himself. Hold on. Y'all can call in though. He can hear everything y'all saying. Hold on, let me see. And he got that crazy ass Wi-Fi over there, man. Um, the number is right there, 313-423-8691. Y'all don't get mad at old John Slow. I'm just reporting the news. You know what I'm saying? I'm just reporting the news and and to answer that caller, what the caller said, what this got to do with Black history. My man, he a black man, ain't he? He's a black man, and he's an ex city councilman. That's an achievement. How many of y'all can say y'all was a council person? I mean, so how many of y'all can say that? How many black people can say that? Can you hear me, man?
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah, I
Did
hear.
you
Can
did
you
you
hear
hear that?
me?
Did you hear that call? Did you hear that caller? Y'all can hear you. Did you hear that
I heard
caller
a little bit
earlier?
about it, but let me just say this. Black History Month. They think Black History Month is always predicated on saying good things about black people. Black History Month is about education about black people, and particularly what they did and what they didn't do and what they're going to do. Black history is just pure education. That's it. They talk about Malcolm X in Black History Month, that he was a pimp, he was this, he was that. They talk about Martin Luther King when he was an activist or whatever he was, that he messed with more than one woman, he was an adulteress. All of that is spoken about in Black History Month. See, our people are misled because they are miseducated, and they put their own feelings and emotions in what they feel should be done and how it should be done. But this is what destroys us as black people, because we are misguided, we are deaf, dumb, and blind, and we are miseducated. People love miseducation, and they love making their feelings paramount, important. Everybody's feelings is not the basis of education, because it's just stemming from your own feelings. It's stemming from your own feelings. How can we continue to be so naive when the facts is right there in your face? The facts is in your face. If I seen somebody break in my house and you may like that person, why am I wrong because I said he broke in my house when I got it on video? It's the same way when that guy. It's the same way when that guy raped my mother. A lot of people try to say he didn't rape my mother, but the hospital paperwork said that my mother, the signs that when they examined my mother, that they said the sign shows that my mother was raped.
Put out the
And she was
dark.
raped by and it shows that the person that raped my mother was the
Put
one that
out the
I married.
dark. I'm all right. You got a caller, one too.
Okay, I'm listening.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Can you hear me, John?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But ask her this though, John. Ask her this though, John. Ask her this, John, and then I'm gonna be quiet. Ask her this,
Hold on,
John.
hold on, Wantwaz. She's talking to. That's it, or you got some more?
Okay. Oh, okay.
Better finish, bro.
I am. I am. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, then, John. This is my thing. Eric's his fault for the people because he was an activist. But what they have to realize is this, though. I didn't know that we was going to be poisoned. I did a research and found out in the 1960s we was taken off the river. Eric knew we was taken off the river in the 60s. Although common sense is not common, but he's smart enough to know common sense. Why didn't he do what I did? I've been in prison for 20 years. I got elected, and the year after I got elected, they made a decision to switch us to the Flint River. Why didn't he, when I delivered the facts, why didn't he at least use his common sense and say, let's get the water tested? Because that's all I was doing. Let's get it tested. Why didn't he at least do that? That's my only statement. He could have at least said, let's get the water tested, but he kept his thumb in his mouth. Eric knew more about politics than I knew. He was an activist. Eric worked in General Motors for 30, 40 years. The rumor was always that General Motors put all their pollutants in our water. Eric knew we was taking off the Flint River in the 60s. He didn't mention anything about that. He just stayed in the corner with his thumb in his mouth. Why did Eric toast water at the water plant and celebrate the festivities like it was okay? Eric is older than me. I've been in prison for 20 years. How would I have even knew that the water was poison? I just used my common sense. My common logic was, we've been taking off the Flint River since the 60s. It had to be for a reason. We're paying Detroit $12 million a year to use their water. Why aren't we using our water? So it had to be a reason. Why would I be driving your car, John, and I got a car in my driveway? It got to be a reason why I'm driving your car. Why would I be renting your house and I have a house? It got to be a reason why I'm renting your house and not living in my own house. That alone is common logic. Eric didn't even use his common logic. And after we was poisoned, why Eric didn't delve deeper to say, why are we hiring this company? He kept being in alignment with the state government decisions. That's my only
Hold on, let me
argument.
say something. Becky B, she said Eric is not here to defend himself. So how is Eric the topic?
Well, I
Put Mr.
challenge Eric.
Mays on
I
the
challenge
call.
Eric.
Hey, Eric know my number. Eric done been on my show millions and millions of times. Eric know my number. Eric know me personal. If he want to come to the platform, he can. That's what this
Yeah,
platform for.
invite
And
him to come. Matter of
everybody
fact,
opinion
John.
is valid. My man opinion, that's his opinion. You know what I
Well,
mean?
matter of
Eric,
fact, John,
I'm sure y'all gonna tell
you
Eric about it, or tell Eric to call Fat Boy right now.
no,
Eric know who
no,
I
no.
am.
You can go deeper than
You know
that.
what I
No,
mean?
no, no. You can go better
You
than that,
know,
though, John.
you
You
know what I'm
reached
saying?
out to me, right?
They see they want to buy his platform, bro. Let me say something right quick. I'm not running no biased platform. You know,
You know what? Let me tell you this.
I'm in the journalism. The journalists don't supposed to be biased, man.
No, no,
You know
no,
what I
no, no, no.
mean?
See, let me tell
Everybody's
you this.
opinion is validated. I'm not gonna get in here and talk about nobody personally, but politically, everybody's opinion is valid. It's valid. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. That's why I put my disclaimer up when I start the show. I got a disclaimer. It's
Yeah,
not the view of Flat Out the
it's
Dark.
staticky.
You
It's
know what I'm
staticky
saying?
though, John.
I fuck with emails,
Yeah,
man.
but your stuff is staticky. No, the point is, this is what I want you to listen at, John. We're going to detach ourselves from our feelings and our emotions, and we're going to stay right
Right,
on topic. You reached out to
right,
me, right?
right.
I took your invitation to get on your show, right?
Yeah,
So you have
yeah,
the ability to reach out to Eric. The reason why Eric don't
yeah.
talk about this is because he don't have no
Eric,
answers to this.
Eric done been on here more times than you. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no
And
problem.
next time he on your show, you ask him, Eric, why didn't you help Wantwaz fight against the government to stop us from going to the Flint River. Eric don't want to
Hey,
talk about that.
all right, but you know what? We're gonna cease fire on that. Let's go. Let's move on, man. We stayed on that long enough.
Yeah,
Um,
because I got something to do in a minute, bro.
yeah, okay. Well, we can close out there. Well, just give me some solutions, man, to move the city forward, man. Then give me some closing
The
remarks, and we out of
solutions
here.
to get moving, the solutions in moving the city forward is we have to address. This is the reason why you asked me about Gritchick and you asked me about all those other politicians that I told you that none of them was good or they was substandard. It's because none of them politicians has ever walked with the ants. See, in order to walk with the ants, that means you've walked with the least of them, the underprivileged, the low moderate, the poverty stricken. They don't know nothing about being underprivileged, low, moderate, and poverty stricken. So if you don't know what they're going through, you will inadvertently, not intentionally, you will inadvertently look over them. So no bills, no policies that has ever been administered from the state government or governors or mayors has never benefited the low moderate, the underprivileged, and the low moderate, and the poverty-stricken people. There's nothing been in place since I've been home in 13 years, when I was in office for 4 years, and maybe in the last 20 or 30 years, has ever been for the benefit of those category of people that I just mentioned. When you're in office, you for the people, by the people. Your paycheck is paid by those poverty-stricken people, those low moderate people, those poverty-stricken people, and under, whatever I said, you know what I said. They paychecks is based on them. But when they submit bills and policies, it never is afforded to them. Our city is lacking economic and development, which is jobs. We was once the second highest economically in the nation. Today, we are one of the poorest cities in the nation because every elected official we've ever had is always tried to implement their own ideals, and it failed us. It failed us. We are an industrialized city. We are an auto city. Nobody has ever made them believe or realize that until I got in office. And when I got in office, I took advantage of an opportunity and I convinced the chambers of commerce, when they got that 5-year economic and development contract from the state, to bring manufacturing jobs to Flint. Because I told them if they don't, they would fail us in that contract and they would fail themselves. So you know what they did with that contract? They brought Lear, and they put Lear on East Hamilton Street in the 5th Ward. That is something good that I did. I created 600 to 800 jobs. Eric ain't never did none of that. And this man's supposed to
Come
be
on,
smarter
man.
than me.
Hey, come on, man. We supposed to be talking solutions, man. You,
Oh,
you
okay.
know what
Well,
I
the
mean?
solution,
You
the
still on?
solution, the solution,
We can't.
the solution is,
Look. I kind of agree with the audience. No, we can't keep dragging Eric, and he can't
okay. Well, the
finish.
solution
So,
is, okay.
all right, but you know,
Okay,
I
I get
kind
it.
of agree with that.
I
Now,
get it.
let's,
I just get heated,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Because if I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
win the mayor election in 2026, I'm leaving Michigan. They can be what they want to be. They can have a black agenda.
So you mean to tell me you running for mayor?
I am running for mayor, but if I do not win, I'm leaving. I'm gonna leave Flint, Michigan, right where they at. I can't help nobody that don't want to help themselves. I proved what I can do. I brought 600 to 800 manufacturing jobs and put it on in my ward on East Hamilton Street. I've created a company, a cleaning company, where I've hired in my company over 100 poverty-stricken, underprivileged, low, moderate, ex-convicted felons and put them in my job, took them off the street, and had them cleaning apartment complexes. I've done that in my personal life. In my political life, I brought 600 to 800 manufacturing jobs. I've proven to the city of Flint, Michigan, may they accept it or not, or leave it alone, that I can create economic and development and take people off the street and put food on their table. If they don't want to accept that in 2026, I'm going to leave them right where I found them and move to another state and leave politics alone. And they can have what they
Well,
want to have in the city
hey,
of Flint,
hey,
Michigan.
what I tell you, but I think you should have a U-Haul
I got one on deck
on
right
call.
now.
You better have
I got it
have
on
it
deck
on.
right now.
Hey, look, because I don't think these people in Flint, man, I don't think, you know what I mean?
Well,
No disrespect to you, but
hey, I'm going to leave them what they want.
Eric, look, let me say this. No disrespect to you, no throwing dirt in your face or nothing, but Eric Mays is loved all around the country because I'm a social media icon.
I
And
get
they
that.
love this motherfucker
I get that. I
everywhere.
get that.
And
And
he
you know
could
why?
and he
And you
couldn't
know
he
why?
couldn't even win. He
And you
couldn't
know
win
why?
mayor.
And you
So
know why?
I don't know, bro.
Because that comedian Ricky Smiley brought him on his show and normalized his mentality, not knowing that Eric is an activist. An activist acts like he acts, and they always go against
All
politicians.
right, we done with that. I just wanted to bring that up. We
I
done with
get
that.
that. I'm aware of that. But you know what
Okay.
I do believe, though, John? You know what I believe? I believe
What's
God,
that?
mercy, grace, and justice overrides all of that. So
So
that's what
y'all
I'm
heard it right.
relying on.
So y'all
That's
heard
what
it
I'm
right
relying
here.
on.
Y'all heard it right here. Wantwaz Davis is running for mayor of
In
Flint, Michigan.
2026 or soon.
2026 or sooner.
And
Uh,
also say this, he already brought 600 to 800 manufacturing jobs in his lair on East Hamilton Street with the help of the Flint Genesee County Chambers of Commerce. I gave him a little bit of my resume. And I've hired over 100 people in my cleaning job that I started off $50.
yeah, you right. You right, Miss Beverly Biz. Ricky Smiley jumped on the wave. Eric was already popping, and
Well,
you know what I'm saying.
maybe or not.
No,
If he
no,
was
no. I
popping,
mean, you
hey,
know what I'm saying. That's why I started out politics because I wasn't covering Flint politics. Me and my nephew, we was covering hot topics and stuff around the nation. And
well,
when I did start putting clips of Eric, it was blowing up. You know what I mean? So it was
hey,
before Ricky Smiley.
hey,
But
Ricky
anyway,
Smiley,
bro, you got anything else? You got
Ricky
anything else you
Smiley
want to say?
normalized it around the world.
Yeah,
He was
Ricky
famous
Smiley
in
just
Flint.
jumped on. Ricky Smiley jumped on the bandwagon like everybody else. That's all.
All
Hey,
right.
but
Well, like I said, if they want to get rid of me, just don't elect me in 2026, and Flint can stay right where it's at. And
all right, bro.
I'll leave them humbly, just where they at. And I
Um,
won't ever
uh,
talk about Flint ever again when I'm gone.
okay. Let me say this, bro.
I probably won't even tell people I'm from Flint.
Let me say this. Hey, I appreciate you for coming on the platform, man. Your
Yeah,
opinion, all opinions are respected and
yeah,
valid.
yeah.
I'm running a no bias platform, and I don't care. I don't, people putting. I don't care if they get mad at me, but hey, look, I ain't got nothing against Eric Mays. I ain't got nothing against Wantwaz. I ain't got no against nobody. I love everybody in 2024. I just lost my dad, my heart, my hero, and I don't, you know what I mean? I ain't with all that bull in 2024. This is a year motherfuckers will be put on the floor, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you, Wantwaz, man.
I appreciate you too, brother. I just get emotional when I talk about my city. I'm concerned
Okay.
about low moderate. I'm concerned about low moderate, underprivileged, ex-convicted felons, and poverty-stricken people. I brought 600 to 800 jobs and put it on East Hamilton Street where people can
All
walk to
right.
work.
All right, bro. I gotta get out of here, man.
All right.
Peace to you. Peace to you,
Yep.
bro.
Yep.
All right.
Peace to you too, brother. Yep.
You're now rocking with Terrence Sale on Flint's #1 online podcast, Flint After Dark. We speak for the streets.
It's your boy, Terrence Sales, a.k.a. Mr. Speak for the Streets, a.k.a. Big T, and you locked in to the #1 podcast in Flint, Michigan, Flint After Dark. We speak for the streets.
Ray, you gone crazy.
You are now tapped in with the most realist and controversial show on the net. Flint After Dark Podcast. We speak for the street. We speak for the street.
Yeah. Thinking to myself like, what the fuck is going on? Asking God for help, like what the fuck I'm doing wrong. He ain't giving me no answers, I figured it out myself. Got tired of asking questions, I'm tired of looking for help. Man, I can't win for losing, I'm steady taking these losses. Had to bury greed and chink, same week, 2 different coffins. Man, that shit'll traumatize you when it ain't trying to. Everybody shedding tears, you trying not to cry too. They say they feel my pain, but they don't know how much I'm hurting. Mama told me pray, it usually help, but it ain't working. Just the numbness pain, I'm popping Perkins by the